Greetings all you maniacs, minds, and our grinds. Welcome back to another Warframe weapon showcase. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a Stave Zaw that I recently made that is really damn good. Even though I think staves are a bit meh sometimes, um, I don't know. This one works very, very well. So I'll be showing it in the Simulacrum, and then we're going to be going into Mott Steel Path. So this is the build. Now, I'll show what it's made of in a moment. It's got a decent critical chance and status chance, so it's a hybrid build. And the reason why I'm using corrosive is because one, corrosive just works a bit better, especially against infested and Grineer. And secondly, because I run the Panzerrobophila a lot, the enemies are already going to be procced with viral. So you might as well just use corrosive. Anyway, so this weapon has quite a lot of range. I think it might have about, I'm not exactly sure in meters how much range it has. I wish you could actually see that, but it's a decent range. And it's fast and it hits pretty damn hard. I'm using Clashing Forest because, well, Flailing Branch does not, it's not very good anymore. They butchered it, but whatever. Anyway. Okay, oh hold on. Let me actually show what I used. So I used Vargrit, Jatu, Stefan Strike, and Plague Broquin grip. Any grip is fine. The Stefan gives it more critical chance and status chance, and I'll show that after the Mott test. I don't know why that's the case, but I mean, hey, that's the case. So I'm gonna just go ahead and throw on Nariman. And to do this, to make sure that Nariman is active, it is, sweet. And then we are going to spawn 20 Corrupted Heavy Gunners level 145. So this standstill combo lifts enemies into the air. This is the move forward combo, and this is the block move forward combo. Also, this thing tends to rip enemies to pieces, so it's automatically very, very good for Necros. Now you see that this thing isn't always red critting, but if you're using the Gladiator set, even just like 2 mods might get you red crits. I also have Exodia Hunt, just for that versatility of that crowd control, which yanks enemies towards you, and they're stunned, so they can't do anything. So I'm going to respawn the enemies, and now I am at practically max combo. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. It works. It works very, very well. And as you're going to see when I take this into Mott, it just shreds, especially when enemies are procced with viral, because of the Panzerrobophila. Anyway. Now, so that's the basic overview of the weapon. Now, because I'm proccing enemies with viral and I'm using corrosive on the weapon, some of you might be thinking, hey, just use the Kuvanukor, proc radiation, heat, and then some other element. Like if you had this thing built for magnetic, and you'd be doing ludicrous amounts of damage. True, but I'm not going to be using the Kuvanukor because condition overload is condition overload. It's going to just make this weapon hit basically everything in the game. It won't matter at that point. So we are going to head into Mott Steel Path with the Panzerrobophila, and remember, he's going to be proccing enemies with viral. So there is that. I am going to be using Nariman. So let's go ahead and go into Mott. So, if you're new, the reason why I'm doing Mott is because there's both shielded and armored enemies here. Now, it's true that the majority of the enemies are going to be fodder for a while, but they're still steel path enemies. They have 4 times the health, armor, and shields of normal enemies. So
they have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
Now to build my combo up, and immediately, yeah. You know, some people might say that to do this damage, you need a plague grip path. You have to have a plague grip path. Maybe even one ribboned, you know. No. Experiment with other weapon types, because staves, some of them aren't that great, but the Zaw staves are actually very fantastic, especially as Stefan. I mean, this is just... it's a lot of damage. It is a lot of damage. And before someone says, well, you're not hitting like 30,000-40,000 per strike, that's unrealistic. Let's be real. That is pretty damn unrealistic. Most melee weapons cannot do that. Unless you're using a heavy attack build. So, yeah, don't even try that argument. It's not how that works. Okay? But yeah, I'm also ripping enemies to shreds. So, Necros players, this works very, very well for you. Is this better than my Zondakana? Fuck no. My Zondakana is like the most overpowered thing I have. It's ridiculous. I'll do this for a little bit. I don't want to stay here too long, because I think you guys already get the point. This thing is going to shred normal levels, and it's going to shred Steel Path, especially if I do that. Because I'm playing Nezha, I can just use my 1 and then run around this thing. Do this combo. It doesn't move as far as forward as it used to. But you know, proc enemies with heat. So they're getting heat, viral, impact, puncture, slash, and corrosive. That's a lot of damage to condition overload. Anyway. Yeah, it's like a hot knife through butter. It just destroys. It absolutely destroys. This thing is going to kill Demolists. It's going to kill, you know, heavy units. It's going to kill basically anything. The only thing that's not going to die to this weapon super quickly would be bosses, especially on the Steel Path. But I mean, they're Steel Path bosses. They have raid fucking boss levels of fucking HP. Anyway. Even if the enemies aren't procced with viral, they die pretty damn quick. Now, you could build Toxin, but that would only really be that good against Corpus. Because I think these enemies just have way too much HP for Toxin. So, there's that. Anyway. Let me kill a few more enemies, and then I will go to Cetus and show you that Stefan is kind of interesting because it gives more critical chance. I don't know why, and also gives more status. So, oh, by the way, if you need Oxrium alloy, there is a cave out in the plains called Mount Nang. Go in there. Okay, let's throw together a stave. So, alright, so you notice these stats when I guild this weapon. So this is a stave. So when I take off Uthula, whatever, and put on Stefan, you get more critical chance and more status. I don't know why. I really just... why? I don't get it. But hey, it, you know, It's just how it is. So even if this is just a Nakana, it still has that bonus. So there is that. I just, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. If there was ever a plague Stefan, oh dear, that would break the game. Anyway, so the very sharp stick here, I know, very creative name, um, is a very, very good melee weapon. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Uh, it's it's just good. Like, it works very, very well. Now, you could be saying, well, it's going to do a lot of damage at max combo, but at not a lot of combo, it's not going to do too well. Here's the thing with staves, though. Clashing Forest has so many multi-hit combos that, that really doesn't matter. Also, Clashing Forest synergizes with this Exodia Valor. So 200% additional combo count chance on lifted enemies. And guess what one of the combos does to the enemies? Yeah, I'm sure this works. I don't have it at all. I'll try it sometime. Um, Exodia Triumph might also be good. So combo really isn't a factor. Anyway, this is a very good melee weapon. Would definitely recommend. Could I make it better? I don't really know. You could go more crit. You could go more status. Um, Completely up to you. The components are completely up to you. As long as you have the Stefan strike. The other two, the grip and the link, totally up to you. Totally up to you. Do whatever you want. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, in Trilby, we trust.